Good morning to you. We do have a special guest coming to you from the 13th Credit Suisse Asian Investment Conference. We're talking to Prime Minister Razak today, Najib Razak. And don't forget that Malaysia is the third largest economy in Southeast Asia. Nice to see you once again here in Hong Kong, Prime Minister. Let me just first ask you, what are you doing here at the Credit Suisse Asian Investment Conference? You're a busy man. You're overlooking the third largest economy in Southeast Asia. So what are you here to do?
I need to talk and I need to engage with the business community, principally with the fund managers, because I think we have a good story line to tell the world, and this will afford me an excellent opportunity to interact with the fund managers, to tell the story to those people participating in this conference. And at the same time, to take back with me, what are the kind of expectations that the market has towards Malaysia. I think it's important for us to know that as well, because whatever policies that you embark on, it's important that the market likes your policies.
Now, Prime Minister Razak, you talk about the story. Let me just ask you, what is the story? Because some have said that Malaysia is really the forgotten economy in the Asia Pac. You have China taking headlines. You have Indonesia thriving right now, and Vietnam. What do you say to investors who say, why should I look at Malaysia?
They have to look at Malaysia because there are abundant opportunities in Malaysia. For example, our stock market used to be one of the best or one of the largest in terms of volume for the region. And we believe that there are wonderful opportunities in terms of the capital market in Malaysia. And we are trying to introduce attempts or efforts to increase the liquidity in Malaysia, the stock market, and for us to list good companies that are well managed, so that investors will get excited. We also have wonderful opportunities in terms of foreign direct investment in Malaysia, which should not be overlooked.
Okay, let's talk about the stock market since you brought it up, because again, it's been an underperformer across the Asia Pac. You haven't seen 100% growth like you've seen in Shanghai. So when people say they look at Malaysia at this point, they're thinking, should I be putting money into your economy? What exactly are the selling points that put you above the other big names, such as, you're seeing 10% growth in China. You're seeing Indonesia come to the forefront as well, with a third best performing stock market in the world last year in US dollar terms. So again, what is the compelling story?
But you must remember that stock markets that rise very sharply, they also fell very sharply during the crisis. Our market may not have been increasing that fast, but when the crisis came, the adjustment was quite mild for Malaysia. So in terms of investors taking the long-term perspective, it is a good market to invest in because of the long-term stability. The only thing is we have to provide more liquidity for the market. And this is what I'm telling them, that the government would take steps to increase liquidity for the market so that the investors will get more excited investing in Malaysia.
Yeah, Prime Minister Razak, when we talk about Southeast Asia, over the past week and a half, everyone's been really glued to the TV sets looking at these pictures coming from Thailand, the protests taking place in Thailand. People want stability in certain countries and economies. What about Malaysia itself? Because it's also had some issues in the past. We had churches being vandalized back in January. People are looking at the political situation. How do you ensure to investors about the political situation, how stable your economy is?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that the vandalism that took place was actually centered around one particular incident. There were other minor incidents, but it was actually blown out of proportion. The situation returned back to normal very fast. And in fact, for those who are very familiar with Malaysia, there's a huge acceptance of this multicultural, multi-religious and multi-ethnic society in Malaysia.
Yeah.
So for those who know Malaysia, understand Malaysia, they have the confidence.
Yeah, you talked about ethnicity in Malaysia, and really people, when they talk about that, they look at the pro-Malay policy. Some would call it affirmative action in your country. So we're saying if you want the economy to continue growing, you need to pull them back. You've done a little bit of that last year, but is there going to be more continuation this year?
Let me put the record straight. When we implemented the affirmative action or the new economic policy, which was basically our affirmative action, known as, back in the 80s and 90s, that also coincided with a period in which our economy grew by 8 to 9%. So if you look at the historical empirical evidence, it's never been a hindrance towards high growth in Malaysia. But we also realize that we need to change with the times. We have new challenges now. There are more players in the region than ever before. Obviously, Malaysia has to be more competitive.
Prime Minister Razak, we have to get back to London at this point, but thank you so much for joining us. That's Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak.